Peace on earth. Pappy, it's a phrase we hear constantly during the holidays, but what if the way we think about peace is completely backwards? Studies show that 82% of people define peace as simply the absence of conflict, but there's something much more profound happening here.
That's interesting timing, Ian, because I was just reading about how holiday related stress and family conflicts spiked by nearly 40% in December, exactly when we're talking most about peace.
Exactly. And here's what fascinates me about the original Christmas story. When those angels announced peace on earth, they weren't just promoting stress relief. Historical records show this was actually a direct challenge to the Roman Empire's idea of Pax Romana, peace through military might.
So you're saying there's a political dimension to this that most people miss.
Oh, absolutely. And it gets even more interesting. Recent archaeological findings suggest that shepherds in first century Palestine were actually considered social outcasts. So here's this revolutionary message about peace being delivered first to society's marginalized groups.
That reminds me of something that happened in my community last month. Two neighboring families were locked in this bitter dispute over property lines, lawyers, threats, the whole thing.
Mm, those situations can get really ugly. What happened?
Well, here's the surprising part. One neighbor, who isn't even religious, decided to try something different. Instead of escalating, they invited the other family over for coffee, just to talk.
That's exactly what we're talking about. You know, conflict resolution experts have found that 67% of long term disputes are resolved through direct dialogue rather than legal intervention. But here's what's fascinating, it's not just about talking.
What do you mean?
Well, studies from the Harvard Negotiation Project show that successful peacemaking requires something they call active presence. It's not just about stopping conflict, it's about creating something new. Think about the difference between a ceasefire and actual reconciliation.
That's quite different from how most people approach conflict today, isn't it?
Completely different. Research shows that most people's default response to conflict is either fight or flight. About 75% either avoid it entirely or try to dominate. But here's the thing, neither approach actually creates peace.
So, what does real peacemaking look like in practice?
Well, psychologists have identified three key components. First, there's what they call engaged presence, actually showing up for difficult conversations. Second, there's empathetic listening, trying to understand the other person's perspective. And third, this is crucial, there's creative resolution, finding new ways forward that weren't visible before.
That sounds like it takes a lot more energy than just avoiding conflict.
Oh man, it absolutely does. But here's what's fascinating. Studies show that people who engage in active peacemaking report 40% higher levels of life satisfaction than those who just avoid conflict. It's like, well, think about it like exercise. It takes more energy than sitting on the couch, but it makes you stronger.
This is making me think differently about all those meditation apps and wellness programs that promise inner peace.
Right. While mindfulness has its place, and studies show it can reduce stress by up to 30%, real peace isn't just about feeling calm, it's about actively engaging with the messiness of human relationships.
So, how do we actually do that, especially during the holidays when tensions are high?
Well, conflict resolution experts suggest starting with what they call micro peace practices. These are small daily actions that build peacemaking muscles, like instead of avoiding that difficult family member at holiday dinner, try asking them one genuine question about their life.
That seems challenging but doable.
Exactly. And here's what's encouraging, research shows that even small peacemaking actions can have a ripple effect. One study found that when one person in a family system started practicing active reconciliation, it improved overall family dynamics by 45% within 6 months.
That's actually quite hopeful. It means we don't have to solve world peace all at once.
Precisely. And you know what? That brings us back to the original Christmas message. It wasn't about instant global transformation, it was about peace entering the world in a very specific, localized way, but with universal implications.
So maybe the real peace on earth starts with these small daily choices.
Exactly that. And research backs this up. Studies show that sustainable peace is built through thousands of small actions rather than grand gestures. It's about choosing day after day to be what experts call active peace practitioners rather than passive peace wishers.
That's quite different from just saying peace on earth and hoping for the best, Ian.
You know what, Pappy? That might be the most important takeaway from all this. Peace isn't something that just happens to us, it's something we actively participate in creating, one relationship at a time.